Well, hello everybody, and sorry I haven't really posted in a while, but I am back now, and I wanted to well, I wanted to make something for Blender due to the fact that I am thinking about trying to do another animation, like actually trying to do an animation, because I had one, I was doing, but the way the bones were, uh, it didn't really work correctly. Because when I used the bones, well, I'll show you here in a second. So what I was thinking of doing was like making a little stupid, funny animation where you know she's trying to like make a sandwich, but everything just is stupid. But like the way these bones work, like that, it looks really good. It looks like it'd be sophisticated and it works well. But you see, hold on, what is that? Oh, that's the left side. Sorry. But you see, when I use it, there's not really many bones, and the way that it's weight painted for the eyes, I can't make her blink. Like if I do this, that's as far as that one will go without clipping. And if I do this, and even if I move this back a little bit, just look how odd that looks. And it didn't work. Plus the eyelashes are actual separate parts, and it's just sucks. So yeah, back with the actual Blender thing. So what I was thinking about doing was just doing a small tutorial on how the basics and stuff, because I actually recorded this once before, believe it or not, but that was like 5 hours ago, and when I was recording, I used a window capture in OBS, and when I use the window capture, well, apparently Blender doesn't count as a window really. Apparently, like you can select it and it'll show you, but it'll only show like what was here. Like let's say I put a window capture on right now, right here. Well, it would only everything would be frozen. It'd be just like this the entire time. You'd see this. Only thing you'd see was my mouse moving around, and that's what happened. It made me so sad because I sat there for half an hour. You know, I didn't have anything planned. I was like, all right, I want to do this. I haven't really been keeping my schedule, even though I don't have a schedule. That's the best part about not being a big YouTuber is I don't have a schedule, and I just I can do whatever I want whenever I want, and that's the best part of it. But I don't want to disappoint everybody on here because I have 60 people watching me now, or at least that's how many subs I have. I only get like 10, maybe, or 5 to 10 views per video. Recently, I've been getting like 5 or 2 because I haven't been uploading. And I realize that probably sucks for you guys. Be like, wow, this is a really small YouTuber and I like his stuff, and he's not uploading. So I'm going to try to fix that. So first things first is how did I open that menu? Well, if you press Shift and A at the same time, it'll open up this. Make sure you don't press A and then Shift because it'll bring up this, and you don't want that. So hold down Shift, then press A, and then it'll bring this up. Or if you don't feel like pressing buttons, you feel like just using your mouse the entire time, which won't work. Uh, then you go over here and you go to add, you go to mesh, and then you'll have like, I believe it's just these. I'm using add-ons, so I have much, much more things. Like if I wanted to, I could bring in a teapot, I actually used this teapot for a thing before. It's actually really useful. Anyway, let's add a cube, just a simple cube. Now that we've added our cube, it looks pretty cool, right? However, there's one problem. This is where the floor would be. This little yellow or green line. Sorry, I'm not colorblind. I just said yellow because when I was looking at it for a split second, it looked yellow. No, it's green. This is red. Uh, and those two X and Y mark the floor. But there's a thing that it's half into the floor. So if I Shift A, added a plane, and I scaled it up, you can see we only get half of it. Well, first let's get rid of the plane. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna click on the cube. We're gonna press G. This will allow you to move it around. If you don't want to move it though, just right click and it'll be fine. Now what we're gonna do is we do want it to move, so we're gonna press G. Then we're going to press Z to move it up, and then we're going to hold down the control button on your keyboard. What this will do, it'll go up by increments, if I didn't hold control, you can see like here it doesn't snap to the ground, and I can move it like very even smaller increments. But don't want that, so we're gonna hold down control and boom, perfectly flat on the floor. Flat, okay. And now we got a beautiful cube. And if you have a number pad, which I'm sure you do, you're gonna press the period on the number pad. However, if you're using like uh, a laptop that does not have a number pad, like it's a small Chromebook or something, but not a Chromebook because Chromebooks can't handle anything, not even games. It's purely for work apparently. You're gonna hold down FN, and then on your keyboard you'll see these blue things, and there'll be like a blue period. Well, you want to hold down FN and press the blue period, and then it should focus in on it. Anyway, now that we've done this, we're focused on the cube. Let's say we want to give it a little bit of flash, a little bit of color, right? Well, first, before we go anywhere, see these four things up here? Which you should only see these four things. You should have like all these things. You shouldn't be able to see this thing. I'm not sure if you can. I can't remember. I have everything added on. Uh, we want to click this one in between the white one and the the shiny looking ball. Because what this will do is it's like a test or like a test color or test render, and it'll have a false background thing for it. What we're gonna do, you're gonna see these tabs up here. We want to click on shading because you want to shade it, right? Anyway, now we want to focus in on the cube again, so we're focused on it completely. Also, I forgot that if you want to move your camera around, you want to hold down middle mouse, or you can hold left click on this and move it around. Things like that. And let's say you wanted to like focus on a corner, like let's say you want to focus here. You click, or actually no, it'd be the one on this side. You'd click on this, and boom, you're over here, and it becomes like flat, and you can see the little increments. You can move it up. There's an HDR already on Blender for you to use for this. Looks nice, as you can see. An HDR is like a fake like world, so that has fake lighting and things, but it works. We're gonna click on this. It says add a new material, and it's right next to this. Well, if you're watching, you can see my mouse, I think. Yeah, just testing. Anyway, we're gonna click on the new, and what this will do is it'll bring up these two little nodes here, which has a bunch of sliders and color things you can do. Well, I want to, let's say, make it green, my favorite color. We're gonna go, and suddenly it's green. And you're like, oh wow, that's cool, and everything, but it just doesn't look, it doesn't look very good. I want it to have some shine, like some metal. Well, that's why we got all these sliders here, is because we can make it metallic. So there's a metallic slider, which obviously is going to make it metal. If we slide that all the way up to 1, you're like, wow, that looks like metal, but it's not very, I don't know, it's still not very shiny, it just doesn't reflect anything. Well, what we're going to do, there's a roughness slider here. We're going to bring that down. Bring that however you want. I'm going to bring it like right here. Actually, no, just for this, I'm going to bring it all the way down. Once you bring it all the way down, you can finally see the HDR through it. They took like I think Blender went down to the forest somewhere, and they took a nice picture of a walk hiking trail, and it looks really nice. I like it. I actually want to find this trail and walk down it. Anyway, now that we have this, it looks nice and shiny. It's a cube, and it's reflecting things. It's like a mirror. Well, here's what we can do. Let's say you want it even more shiny. Well, there's this thing down here called clear coat, and there's clear coat roughness. You want to take the roughness all the way down to 0. And then if we slide this all the way up, whoops, hold on, let me turn down off the clear coat roughness. Suddenly we have much more like a mirror. As you can see, the HDRI is actually kind of low quality, or like they didn't. I mean, it's probably a good picture, but like as you can see through here, it's very pixely through the mirror image. I don't actually know why, but hey, it's a nice HDRI and it looks nice to me. But anyway, moving on, we now have our shiny, nice, beautiful cube. You're like, well, that's cool and all, but it's not really popping. There's nothing really happening. Well, we can easily fix that. So if we go on here, back into layout, as you can see, once when I told you to click the middle one, it's so you can actually see it, see the color and the shininess and everything. Because if we go back to this, it's just boring. It's just a boring cube. Anyway, going back to this, we're going to do something special. So I want you to click on one of these, either X or Y. We're gonna go G, Z, and we're gonna hold down Control again. We're gonna move this up like however far you want it. I'm gonna move it there because it's nice and close to where we had it. I'm going to add in a plane. S, and boom, we have a nice little plane here. But we know, we don't want it to be plain, that's boring, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn this a nice little light blue. I'm going to metallic it, turn the roughness all the way down, turn the clear coat roughness down, and then turn the clear coat all the way up. Suddenly we got a nice blue and green thing. You're like, well, that's cool and all, but there's still nothing happening, right? If we press play, there's nothing happening. Well, what we are going to do, we're going to click on this cube. Click on the cube, make sure it's yellow and not orange. You're going to click on Object. What you'll see is you'll see a bunch of things here, probably. What you want to go down to, I'm sure you'll have this even without add-ons, you want to go down to Rigid Body. What this will do, or then you want to click Add Active. Now, what this will do is it'll give it physics. So if we press play now, however, there's something wrong here, It didn't hit the plane at all. It didn't do anything. It's boring. Well, first, what we're going to do is we're going to scale this plane up a little bit more. We're going to go to Object, right? We're going to go Rigid Body, and we're going to add Passive. What Passive does is it acts as a collision object for it. And so that way, this plane doesn't fall. If we add it Passive, watch. Boom, it hits it. It's a nice clean hit, and then it just kind of sits there, Like, well, that's kind of boring still, but it's better. Well, first, we're going to take our keyframe here and we're going to go 150. We want it to be a little bit shorter, just to save, time and memory, because this all saves as a memory thing. What we're going to do, we're going to click on this, right? We're going to click on this cube. We're going to go Object, go down to Quick Effects, and you'll see these things here. You got Quick for Explode, Smoke. Actually, no, you don't. Actually, you don't have these. You'll have only Cell Fracture. Or you'll have these for not Cell Fracture. Well, in that case, I'm going to show you something. We want to go over here to Edit. Go to Preferences. You'll see all these things. You want to go to Add-ons. You want to have Official Community. You want to check both of these. It'll be on Official, though. So if you go type in Cell. Okay, yeah, no. Alright. You'll already have Cell Fracture. Doesn't matter. Anyway, click on Object, go down to Quick Effects, and then Cell Fracture right here. And you'll see all this stuff. It's going to look confusing, but all you're going to do is you're going to go over here and click OK. What this will do, alright, what this will do, you'll see this little thing over here, it'll say cube cells, right? Don't mess with that. You want to click on the cube, press X, press OK, then you want to press play. Nothing happens, right? Well, there's a reason for that. We're going to click on one of these little cube cells and go to Object, Rigid Body, and Add Active. Then what you're going to do is you're going to select all of them, holding Shift and then dragging your mouse around. It'll select all of them, and you'll have that one little cube yellow. What you want to do is you want to go to Rigid Body and then copy from Active. Suddenly, if we press space, it's going to fall, and then boom! Suddenly we have 8 cubes, and it's nice, it's cool. However, it's still not what you're looking for. You're like, all right, well, that's cool, but it's nothing's really cool like happening. It's not as cool as I want it to be. Well, in that case, we're gonna go back, pressing Control Z repeatedly until we have our cube again, and all the cube cells are gone. What we're gonna do, we're gonna focus on the cube again. We're gonna go over here. There's this little wrench or a spanner that when you hold your mouse over it says modifier properties. You're going to go over here and there'll be a thing called add modifiers. You're like, alright, well what does that mean? I'll show you. So click on it and you'll see a bunch of these things, right? You'll see a bunch of these things and it doesn't look it looks intimidating, right? Well, all we're going to do is go to this place. It says right here where generate is, and there'll be this thing called subdivision surface. And it splits the faces into smaller parts, giving it a smoother appearance. We'll be like, all right. So we click on that, and suddenly we have these things, and our cube is no longer a cube. You're like, well, I want it to be a cube still, you know, I want it to still be a cube. You're like, all right, well, there's these two things here. You want to click on simple. You got Cantwell Clark and simple. You're like, all right. So once you click on simple, you see these things. I want you to go all the way to either 3 or 4. I want to go to 4 because my computer, I think you can handle it. And now that once you apply it using the, hold on, well, you're going to use this arrow and it's going to go apply. Sorry. Then we're going to press tab. And suddenly there's a lot more cubes. You're like, wow, that's cool looking. It's like, all right. Now what we're going to do, we're going to go back into object, go to quick effects again. Sorry, I don't know why I'm sneezing. And we're going to go back to cell fracture. Just press OK again. And suddenly, as you can already tell, it's generating these nice little sharp edges, sharp little things that come from our cube. The thing is crashing. Anyway, what it's supposed to do, all right? What it's supposed to do is it's supposed to take all these little vertices and it's supposed to split them up into pieces. And when it does that, it makes these cool little sharp edges and things. And when it does that, there you go. When it does that, I want to delete the cube, of course. As you can see, you got these little cracks here. And what that means is that now you have a bunch of these little particles are actually fractured of the cube. And once you delete the regular cube, you should be fine. So you're going to click one again, go to Objects, Rigid Body, which is right here, Add Active. And then you're like, all right. Then you select them all. Make sure you select them all. You're going to go Object, back to Rigid Body, Copy from Active. Then what you're going to do is you're going to focus in on the plane, right? Actually, you're going to hold Shift, and then you're going to use your middle mouse, and then drag it up a little bit. Drag it wherever you want it. Then we're going to zoom in just a tiny bit. I'm going to move it right there. We're going to press spacebar. Suddenly, boom! Now that's cool, right? It's just fractured into 1,000 pieces almost. Not even close. Maybe like 50, 70, maybe 100 if we're lucky. But this right here, this is perfect, right? You like that, it's nice and cool, but you're like, it's cool, but it's not really doing anything. It's just hitting the ground and all over the place, right? Well, if we go back, I'm going to select all these pieces. We're going to move them up using G and Z. We're going to press Shift A, and we're going to add a UV sphere. We're going to focus in on it. We're going to go G, Z, and move it up. That's cool and everything. And why don't we give it a little bit of color, you know? Give it like, I don't know, red. If you right click and click on Shade Smooth, it goes all smooth and stuff, which is nice. Go to Metallic, bring it all the way down. There's another place where you can add color and things. Click go all the way up, and suddenly we got 3 nice shiny things. It's probably going to crash my computer, but go to Object, go to Rigid Body, and add as passive, and then once we press play, boom, it shatters all over it and it flies everywhere and it's nice and it's cool. You know, it's pretty cool and we like it. Now, let's say we want to do something cool with this. You know, we want it to move around. Well, I hope this works. I forgot actually how to do this. I will try. You know what? I'm going to try. We're going to press on I. We go location, right? Which is nice. Now that we've done that, if we bring this little slider up here, I'm going to show you how to animate. we see this. We have 150 things, and we've got a keyframe. That little yellow thing there is a keyframe. Let's say, all right, we want it to stay right there until we hit boom right there. All right, so we're at 24. I'm gonna move. Oops, hold on. I'm gonna go one more, and I'm gonna press I right there. I'm gonna click all channels. What that's gonna do is gonna say, all right, I want you to stay there for this amount of time. I want you to stay there until it reaches 25. Then what I want you to do is once it's like right here, we're gonna go to 30, right? I'm gonna press G, Z, move it up a little bit. I'm gonna press I in all channels. Now, if we press play, you can see it didn't really do much. Uh, like I said, I didn't. There's a certain way you have to do this, and I forgot how it's done. Actually no, I think it actually did react. So, because if we go right here, it goes inside of this, yeah, and it kind of connects, right? That's what we want. So it's working. It's working. Let's say we want it to stay there. Then once once it reaches 40, right? We want to press GZ until it hits the ground, or maybe clips through it just a tiny bit. And then we're going to go all channels again. So this is what's going to happen now. It's going to go like that. As you can see, it reacts. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to give it a little bit of motion. I'm going to make it move around a tiny bit. So once it reaches 45, I want to move GY that way. I'm going to press I, all channels. I'm going to press GX, then GY. Oh, hold on, I gotta fix that. Let's say I just wanted to move there. I'm gonna press alright, all channels. Then if we press play, we're gonna see that. It's gonna, and then it's gonna just jump all over the place, It's pretty cool. I don't know. Anyway, that's it for this tutorial. Real quick before we go though, I want to open something because I just got done making one of the most coolest things ever. I'm pretty sure just by looking at it you know what it is, but if we click on this, then we give the viewport like 100 samples. It's gonna take a minute, but if anybody could guess what this is, like not just the name up here, not just the name up here, but like where it came from, you are an awesome person and you know your movies. So hold on. So if we go into here and I go to weapons, got a proton test 2 here. It's probably gonna break everything, but I don't care right now. If I open this, it shouldn't just show a black screen. It should load, but this will be a render that I did, and it's pretty nice. I like it, and I really had fun making it. All right, there it is. And here's a coloring test. It's not actually finished, but here's what it looks like as test coloring, and everything's in place. I actually made this. I actually took time to make this, and it was really fun. It took a while, but it was really fun, and I still am not done with it. Honestly, I still need to get like actual colors for it. Like there's supposed to be like some lights in here, and there's supposed to be like uh, a thing in here. That's fine. That's already colored, but it's supposed to be like black and yellow here. And yeah, so I have to get around to doing that. And once it's finished, I will show everybody, and it'll be amazing. And yeah, so here it is. And I hope everybody enjoyed this because I enjoyed making this. It was fun, and showing everybody how to start out was fun. So yeah, you guys were amazing. Thank you. See you next time.